Hello, happy Thursday. I hope wherever you are that you and your loved ones are safe and well, that you're having a good week and a good day. I'm talking to you live via satellite from my hallway by my front door because I just thought, you know what, let's do something different today. It's kind of a weird day. It's a very weird day. It's been a weird week. And I should have been having my injection right about now o'clock, but it did not happen because I had to change it. There's stuff going on not related to my medical life that has interfered with my medical life this week, and so I had to change the schedule because it was just, not conducive to getting this done. Anyway, it was fine. He had time next week, so it's like, you know what, let's just do it next week. It's easier. But yeah, so I will tell you now that I am working on a virtual holiday show for the students it's totally new crowd of kids. I don't really know any of them because the kids I knew are all graduated at this point, except for a couple of them. They remembered me from 2 years ago. But yes, we're doing a little virtual show, very small, only a couple of dance numbers, but they need costumes. And so I've been working on that with my friend, and it's been nice to be back. I feel like I'm in a different headspace than I was back then. A better headspace, I hope, and so I've been enjoying the glitter again. It's been fun. But yeah, so that's been really cool. It's exhausting. I forgot how, when I've been going and going and going, which I was, sort of like a hamster wheel, I forgot I would be so tired. And since I haven't been doing that, since I've been home and mostly, reading and sitting and not really doing a lot, it's kind of, been a little bit of a shock to my body because it's just like, you are so tired. And then I can't sleep at night. So it's just like, I'm in this perpetual state of exhaustion right now. But it's nice. It's nice. And I'm enjoying it. So it's all good. The blog this week is about therapy. I had a little bit of an out loud in my monologue, my inner monologue, epiphany. And I thought these things, and actually as I was writing the blog, I did say it out loud, which I felt like, wow, you said it out loud. Which is so, I don't know. No, it's not silly. It's not silly. A million years ago, when I was growing up, this is like late 70s, early 80s, therapy was for disturbed people. It was for quote unquote crazy people. It was for people that had problems. Who doesn't? It was not everybody's in therapy or could have therapy or could want therapy because people didn't admit that. It was like not a thing you talked about. And so I came to view therapy as something that was never going to be what I needed because I am not crazy. I'm not disturbed. What problems do I have? The youth. So it was a different time, okay? And so even on TV, like people that, had to see a therapist, sometimes they were in a straitjacket, sometimes it was like at the psych ward, at the institution and everything. So they didn't portray it very, in a very welcoming, very, this is okay if you need help kind of a way at all. And so I grew up thinking, obviously I revised my own thinking because I was like, what if other people need help? I mean, it's not, and when someone that I knew would be like, oh yeah, I'm in therapy, I'd be like, wow, you're not, falling apart and in a straitjacket. It's just like such a warped view, but this was the time, this was the people, this was the place, whatever. It was wrong. And so I love the way mental health care has evolved because people are able to say, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to need help. And so, but growing up with that mindset, I came to therapy not in a good way. I've talked about that a lot. But here was what I was thinking this week. I was realizing, because it's not like a mental health, recognized day or whatever like that, but I was thinking like, I was petrified of going to a therapist because my podiatrist had already basically medical gaslit me. He was like, it's not that bad, And so I go to this therapist when I was about to get the pump installed because they make you do, you have to go through a whole process before you get, at least you did back then. I had to have X number of visits with a psychologist. I had to do a lot of forms, paperwork, and stuff like that. I think they wanted to make sure, because this was major surgery, it was a big deal. It was body image, it was what's going to change, it was, all this stuff. That you're in the right headspace for it. I dreaded that almost more than the stupid surgery, because I thought, I don't want this person to, I don't want this. And so I went to somebody that somebody else knew and liked and recommended, whatever. And in the first session, she says to me, well, maybe it really isn't as bad as you think. And I was just like, are you kidding me? They're all in league with each other. They're all in cahoots with each other. And I felt, just felt like such a betrayal. It felt like such a, you're telling me that I don't feel what I feel, that I don't think what I think. You're telling me that it's actually something else, that it's all in my head, that I've imagined this pain that's bad enough that makes me want to rip my limbs off and throw them away. And I know that sounds awful, but that's how I felt. And sometimes I still feel that way. Not as violently, but like, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. It just felt like, when you're watching a movie and there's a scene and they zoom in the backgrounds, and you just feel like the room gets sucked in on you. That's what I felt like. I felt like I was sitting on that couch watching her tap the pen on her pad of paper. And I realized, I'm never giving you anything again. I'm never giving you a piece of myself, because you just totally destroyed any potential trust that I would have had in you by saying that sentence. And so I wasn't in the space that I am now. I was much younger. I was more vulnerable because this was a rare thing. Nobody had heard of it. I was fighting this battle for a few years of getting all these pain, management procedures done and changing my meds and trying to raise a baby. And like, my husband was doing the best he could. And it was just it was not a good time at all. And when I think about it from that perspective, I hate those years, because I feel like those years were awful for everybody. And, but anyway, but she blew it. And so my view of therapy was like, I'm going to do the required, I'm going to get through this stupid nonsense, and then I'm never coming back to therapy. And then I started talking to other people as the years went on, who loved their therapist, who were like, oh, I have this great person, you want me to give you their name? And I thought, okay, that's awkward, because I don't want to see somebody that my friend is seeing. That's just too weird. And so I was like, oh, no, not for me. I'm not into therapy. And then somebody else, and they said, and I never ask somebody, oh, what did you say in therapy? Because it's not my business, but I wanted to know, are they trying to plant things in your head? Are they trying to like tell you what you think? Or are they just listening to you? And when my pain management first doctor said to me, you need to see a therapist, this is too much for you to handle. And then I thought, oh, guess what? I can handle it. He didn't say it the right way, or he didn't say it in a way that I was hearing it well. It's all in the way you say it. But my current doctor said to me, I think you need to see somebody, because you need to see somebody that you can unload on without worrying about the guilt of unloading on them. Somebody that has no emotional stake in the game except to take care of you. And I thought, So I started looking on, I think it's the Psychology Today website. They have a great website. If you're looking for a therapist, if you go on there, you can really pick the parameters of, what kind of therapy, what kind of issues you're having, if you want a male or a female, if you want, it just gives you whatever you want. Really, it's a great website if you're looking for somebody for therapy. And I found the person that I saw, and she was amazing. She listened to me, and it was more like having coffee with a friend than it was going to therapy. And I thought, this is what everybody's experience should be like if you wanted it to be that relaxed. Other people don't want it to be that relaxed and informal. It worked for me. But I really felt like back then that there were a lot of doctors that were maybe not intentionally, but doing like a medical gaslighting situation to people, because it's like, you're not thinking that, it's up here, it's in your head, you don't feel that way. And it's just like, what? And at that time, I was not in the right headspace to be like, what the hell are you talking about? I know exactly what I'm feeling. And so I just felt attacked, and it just felt very dangerous to me. And so now if somebody tried telling me that, I would tell them what I think of that. But But back then, I wish I could have told my younger self, my early in this mess self, it's not all in your head. It's very real. It's very much happening. And like, I wanted to pull my medical records out and just be like, are you kidding me? This is in my head? Really? This is all in my head? And again, even though I was walking with a cane back then and stuff, there's no like, blood test proof for CRPS. And so like the arachnoiditis obviously is easier to see. The arthritis, if you x-ray my hands, which are very swollen right now on my wrist, you'd see it. The nerves that are all screwed up, you can see the inflammation. But I think they were just looking at me like, she's fine. There's nothing wrong with you. And it really messes with you. It messes with your head, and it messes with your perception of the people that are meant to be helpful. You know what I mean? Because then you don't think they're helpful. Then you don't trust people. And that's that. It took me a long time and a lot of doctors to find the people that I trusted that I knew weren't going to say to me, it's not as bad as this. And even other doctors, like even going to see my neurologist, and when I had to get the card for medical marijuana, I felt like I had to prove myself and, that it's not all in my head and that I'm not imagining it. And I was on the defense, and I just felt very, and he's such a great doctor. He's like, calm down, it's all right. I know what's going on here. I can see it in your chart. I know you're not imagining, and I know you're not trying to pull the wool over our eyes. And I wish that people could have that experience of being believed and never having somebody tell you, you're not feeling that. Because who has the right to say that to another human being? You don't feel what you're feeling. No, you're not. That's not what's happening. It's up here. And it's just like, don't use my brain. Don't weaponize my mental health against me. That's what it felt like. It felt like this giant attack, and like maybe I was imagining it, and then I was thinking, no, I'm not imagining it. I can't even, it was just like, whoa. So I know this is very roundabout, very like, what the heck is happening video, but I encourage people to shop around for a therapist. That's the other thing. If you go to somebody and it's a terrible fit, don't go back to them. You are allowed to go somewhere else and find the person that's right for you. And that's not, I had to double check with our insurance. I'm like, are we allowed to do that? And it's like, yes, you are. Because if this is going to work for you, you can't be going to somebody that you can't establish trust with. And that's what I had to like make peace with. Do I trust this person? Do I trust this person with what's going on in my heart, in my head, in my body, to not weaponize it against me and say, no, you're not. Or maybe not. Let's reframe it. You know what? Reframe this. Gestures that are not nice. But anyway, that's where I was, and I've come a long way. I think my therapist is a wonderful person. I just haven't, and the pandemic, I wasn't, doing any visits, and I feel like I'm in a good place. And she helped me by listening to me and hearing me and validating me. And that's the most important thing, whether you're seeing pain management or a cardiologist or therapist, whoever, validating people, making someone feel like, you know what? I hear what you're saying and I believe you. And I know that that's a recurring theme a lot for me. I know it is. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry, because that's important. We need to feel like we're being heard. And everybody does, not just me and the rest of the medical community that are going through all this crap. Everybody, you all need to be heard. If you were going to go to the bank with a problem with your money, you don't want somebody to say to you, no, that's not happening. It's like, excuse me, hello, yes it is. Grocery store, whatever, you bought something and it's expired, you didn't realize it, you bring it back, it's like, well, this is expired. I opened it and it's like, no, it's not. It's like, you need to be heard and you need to be believed. And it doesn't maybe become important until all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, I'm going through this too. Hello. So I would encourage you to find people that, I'm very passionate about this today, obviously, because I keep doing this. I gotta take it down a notch. Go where people believe you. Go where people listen to you. Don't settle for half measures. You deserve to be you deserve to be treated well. Everybody does. We all deserve to be treated well. You deserve to be believed. You deserve to be validated. You deserve the best. And we have to fight for that for ourselves. This is a very long video. I apologize. But I'm on a soapbox and I'm enjoying it. So I'm going to leave it there because otherwise I could just go on and on. A lot of this will be in the blog tomorrow, but I just wanted to talk about it because saying it out loud is very liberating, if that makes sense. It's very liberating. It's just like, you know, the hills are alive and I want to be validated. You know, it's very important to me that people are heard and seen and believed, and that's where I leave it. I hope wherever you are that you are having a low pain, no pain, low aggravation, no aggravation kind of a day, kind of a week, and hopefully kind of a weekend. That's what we hope for. That's what we deserve. Hopefully I'll be able to get my booster shot tomorrow. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. But have a good afternoon. Be well. I will see you tomorrow via the blog. Next week for another video. Bye.